What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? And I had to I had to drop this video. If you've been looking for motivation, like I'm telling you, this one's for you because I'm fired up. I'm motivated. It's just real. So I watched the Tyler Perry documentary, and it didn't take long. We got past that bit of intro piece, and then it didn't take long before I was completely engulfed, right? And there were just so many nuggets that were dropped, and I can't say that they're necessarily nuggets like, oh, these are the keys to success, but in reality they really are. And if you're struggling to get that fire lit, I encourage you to watch this video and listen to what my takeaways are, because I feel like, man, it hit the mark. So whether you want to go and watch it first for yourself and come back, or you want to check this out, and then go and watch it, whatever you want to do whatever. But let's get right into it, man. Let's get right into it. So most of y'all know who Tyler Perry is, right? He started with the plays, the Medea plays. If you are a person of color, if you're black, these plays, and then later you had movies and so on and so forth. But anyway, I'm not going to get into the story. I'm just going to get into the takeaways for me and how you can find motivation by looking at others around you, right? Look at others around you. So I think, the first thing is, and I got another video about don't give up, but like that message really rings strongly throughout the whole documentary, right? Not giving up. And if you see me glancing off, it's because I'm writing my notes, because I was taking notes vividly, right? I was taking notes. But it's don't give up, right? Regardless of the obstacles around you, even when you've been defeated, even when there's been denial, you've been denied over and over again, like, you got to keep showing up. Like, what you see as far as Tyler's success today isn't what it always was. And I think everybody's heard the story about him being homeless and stuff, but it really goes deeper into his story in the documentary. And that was really one of the key things that I saw, was not giving up, because there was a great opportunity for him to do that. And when you've been defeated the way that he has, and probably you have, you really want to just throw in the towel and be like, I guess this isn't for me. You know what I mean? Like, I felt that way. And that's why I've been compelled to tell this story. And that's why I'm speaking so passionately about it, because, you see yourself in so many of these occurrences, and it just lets you know that you're on the right track, right? Because I really believe that things get put in your face for certain reasons. You are being talked to indirectly, whether you realize it or not. Things aren't by chance, right? I just don't feel like life operates that way. So that was the first thing, is don't give up. The second thing is listening to that voice. And I don't know what anybody's religious background is, so whether you believe in God or the universe, whatever it is, or a combination of the both, listen to that voice, because that voice that is talking to you is usually telling you the direction to go. And a lot of times we'll talk ourselves out of doing things, and that little nagging ass voice, right, is still in the back saying something else, and you're telling it, just shut up, like, nothing has worked, why do I keep doing this, right? But listen to that voice, because a lot of time that voice is guiding us down the path that is really meant for us. And a lot of times that path is what aligns with our desires, our passions, our strengths. And quite often we take a different angle, because let's face it, it's easier. It doesn't feel like it's necessarily easier, but when you're doing something that doesn't necessarily align with what you want, it usually is easier. Like, let's just keep it real. The third thing, and this one is huge. This one is really huge. And that is that ownership is everything. If you don't take nothing else, realize that owning something is so valuable, because it gives you control of things. particularly in the film industry, and not even film, I'm just gonna say entertainment industry, right? So a lot of people, they lose their power. They don't own their own stuff. The stuff that they created, they don't even own it. So I think that is huge, because it really allows you to control the narrative and make sure that you get what is due to you. So whenever you can, make sure that you have ownership. It's just major, man. The next thing is, whatever dream you have, don't lose it. Don't lose it. If anything, you could dream bigger, but don't lose sight of that dream that you have. And I gotta say this, coming from corporate America, and talking to different folks, and I can't say that these people aren't successful in their careers. Like they're very successful in their careers, at their jobs, whatever. But I can't tell you how many times I've been sitting there talking to a colleague, or somebody that is in a higher role than myself, and they lean back in that chair. They did that lean back in the chair, man. They did that lean back in the chair. And when I tell you, the expression on their face already said everything without saying anything. They lean back in their chair, and usually it's because we're talking about something, and I'm talking about things that I want to do. I'm talking about my dreams. I'm talking about something I'm working on outside of those walls, right? And it triggers something in them. It triggers something from their past. It triggers that dream. And they lean back in that chair, and they've got that look on their face, and they're not even looking at me. It's like they're talking to themselves inside their brain. And then finally, the words that say, I remember when ... fill in the blank, whatever dream it was, or whatever they were trying to pursue, or company they were trying to build, or invention they had. But it always comes back to that, I remember when, but, right? Is that but, fill in the blank. And you can fill in the blanks yourself, because that might be you right now, and you can change that, but that might be you right now, that I remember when, but, however, this happened, that happened. But the reality is, things always happen. And the one thing that you can do to end any opportunity of reaching your dreams that you had is to get rid of them and stop thinking about them. You can't lose sight of that, man. So that's very powerful, and I think that really rings strongly in Tyler's story. Is even now, I'm sure he's still dreaming. I mean, look at what he's built with his studio in Atlanta, right? So that's the next one. Let's see. So the fifth one I got here is heal yourself by helping others, right? So you may not realize it, but there's somebody that is watching you and that is inspired by your story. And you may feel like you've done nothing. And I tell you, I'm guilty of that. Feeling like I haven't accomplished anything, that, that I'm not where I want to be, and so on and so forth. But to somebody else, like, you have done so much, and you're such an inspiration to them. And so, I encourage you to figure out what it is that, that causes that pain inside of you. And as Tyler Perry said, he said, connect your pain to your gift, right? So connect your pain to your gift and start to appreciate yourself for who you really are, right? Like you need to work on healing. And part of that is, there may be people in your past that have wronged you, that have, treated you in a light that's just not cool. You got to let it go. And I'm gonna keep it real. You got to let that shit go. Like, you just do. And it's not for them, it's for yourself, because a lot of the times we're holding on to stuff, and as Tyler said, those people, they're peaceful and they're sleeping peacefully, man. And you're holding on to that and causing sickness in your body. So you got to let that stuff go, because it's also getting in the way of your goals. You are using a lot of energy on things that don't serve you. And I got video on that one too, so make sure you watch it. I gotta drop that. I don't ever think I uploaded that one, but I'm gonna upload that one. But yeah, so make sure that you heal yourself, and also understand that in everything you do, help others, right? Because I mean, you owe it to yourself, you owe it to them. I'm gonna move on to number 6, because this one to me is big, and I saw this really with Tyler and his mother, right? So the people that love you, the people that care about you the most, I can promise you that those people are going to probably be some of your biggest hurdles, right? Because one, I hate to say it, but you want to please those people. You really do. You want to please those people, and you want them to be proud of you. And the visions that you have, the dreams that you have, they don't understand those. They can't see those the same way that you can. And when things are going right and they keep seeing you get beat down and battered, and they see you struggling, they don't want to see you struggle. Like, they do not want to see you struggle. I promise you this. And so unfortunately, they may encourage you to do things that don't align with those dreams. And it's not coming out of a place of, not believing in you or whatever the case may be. It's coming from a place of, I don't want you to struggle. And if not struggling means that you do something different, even though it may not align with what you actually want to do, then I prefer you do that, because I want to see you succeed. And a lot of times this could be your mother and your father, right? Your biggest supporters, the people that were there every step of the way, every game, every performance you had, whatever you did. Like, these people were there every step of the way, and yet now they don't support you. Now you're an adult and you're doing what you're doing, and now they don't support you. And the reality is not that they don't support you, is that they can't see what you see. And so I say all this to say, love those people regardless, even though they may seem like they're against you, right? You got to love them, and you got to keep going. I mean, these usually are the people that have sacrificed the most for you. They have sacrificed the most for you. Some of them have sacrificed their own dreams just to make sure that you were good. Like, let's keep it real. Let's keep it 100. But the great thing is, and what's rewarding is, when they get to see you grow, when they see you get on the other side of those struggles, those battles, those hurdles, they get to see you grow. And it just makes everything much sweeter. But those are the takeaways I got. I'm gonna leave you with one more thing, because there was a little bit of preaching in the end, and I love I love some good words, okay? And it was Bishop T.D. Jakes that was talking, and I'm not gonna say that I'm for or against him. I'm neutral. I'm just talking about the words that were said. And he said, greatness takes a while. Greatness takes a while. And the reality is, like, that's 100% facts, right? We don't see it, and sometimes we give up on it. But greatness takes a while. Like, things just don't happen overnight. They talked about the making of wine. And that's not always an easy process, right? But they said that some of the greatest wine is made in some of the worst soil. Think about that. Really think about that. Or think about a diamond, right? Even though, that's very controversial. But they say a diamond is made under pressure, right? So think about that. Think about something that was created under pressure. And think about yourself and the things that you've gone through. Think about that. When you say greatness takes a while, remind yourself of that when you want to give up. The other thing is, he said, you must be willing to first be a survivor to be successful. And what I hear about that is, you're going to get beat up, you're going to fail, but you got to keep going. Keep getting up, man. Keep getting up. Like, you got to keep getting up. Be a survivor. And then the last thing was, everything that went wrong in your life is what made everything right in your life. And that's basically saying the same thing we just said before. You're gonna fail, things aren't gonna go well, but it is those things that result in your greatness. It is those things that result in your greatness, because you need every one of those lessons. There's gonna be something valuable that comes out of that. Like, I think about, for example, all the relationships from my past. Some of them were very crappy, very like, just awful. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the heck? But in hindsight, I learned something valuable about myself from them. I grew from them. And even though some of those things I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy, I still have found value in those moments. But anyway, I really wanted to share this with you because I just felt like it's such an inspirational piece. If you are looking for motivation, you got to go watch that documentary if you haven't already watched it. I don't know what else to say. It really moved me, and it really inspired me to share this video with you all, create this video, share this video with you all. And with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and end this. Go and check it out, man. And I wish everybody well. Keep doing your thing. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up. You owe it to yourself. Peace.